What is up, everybody? Today I'm going to be reacting and just sharing my thoughts on the top 10 toughest places to play for college football 25. But first, I just want to show you guys. So, next couple days, what's going on is they are EA Sports is having every single day. So, we just had the 25th, which is today at the time that I'm recording this. Then we've got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So, we got sights and sounds, top offenses and defenses, overall team power rankings. But for today, I'm going to be reacting to the toughest places to play. We're giving you, my thoughts, full transparency on, which stadiums I've been to, which not, which I have not been to, which ones I have not been to. But also, I'm going to do a different take on it. I know it's a little bit late when I'm getting this video out. Some of you guys might be seeing it on the 26th when the Sight and Sounds YouTube video comes out, which I'll probably be reacting to as well. But I think it's interesting to see what I have here. It's kind of like, I don't want to say facts because, I'm not like a nerd or anything, but just different things. And I would want to see what their approach is and my initial thoughts. So let's get into it. This is the website right here. Um, and here we go. So we're going to do, I'm mainly going to go over the top 10, my thoughts on that. But I will show the top 25. Again, what I like about this channel, it's full transparency. It's what I think, and it's also from like a fan and a supporter standpoint, right? I've watched a lot of videos on people reacting to this, and I'm doing a different take. A lot of them have been to stadiums. A lot of these guys are, huge, on three guys, or just people that have made it, I guess, right? So they've been to stadiums, so they have actually been there. For me, I've only been to three stadiums, actually, which is kind of crazy to think of, although I'm a huge college football supporter. I've only been to three. That's FAU, of course, that's FSU, and that's actually Ben Hill Griffin Stadium at Florida. Um, I know everyone's booing. I know. The only reason I've been to Florida is actually wasn't to cheer on the Gators, of course, but to cheer on FAU. This was back in, I think, 2021. It was FAU versus Florida, so I went to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Um, and so basically that's the only stadiums that I've been in. So I can't really judge it from the standpoint of I hear everyone say LSU number one, LSU's number one. Well, I can't really judge that. I can judge it from the TV that I watch, and I know that's a different perspective, but I think that's also good because you guys are getting a different perspective. So that's where I'm coming from with it, and then explaining their logic, and then trying to show like how it makes sense, I guess. First reactions when I saw this, I was like, "This sucks. This is an L." Um, I'm a Florida State fan. I'm a Florida State supporter, and they're ranked number 9. Um, I think that's about right. Maybe it's actually a little too high. I've been in that stadium many times. And it's kind of hard to judge. Like when it's rocking, it is rocking, and it is, in my opinion, from the only three stadiums that I've been in, it is a top 10 stadium. It is a tough place to play for sure. When they played the Gators in 2022 at home, right? And Jordan Travis did that incredible play. That that place was rocking, right? So I get the 9 spot to a certain degree, but at the same time, I'm also like, well, there are times when we play like Southern Miss. I think we played Southern Miss last year, or even something like the when Jordan Travis went down, right? Like we played that team, and I keep freaking forgetting who it was because that was like a whole thing. North Alabama, there it is. It just came to me right there. But you know, and it was still rocking, but like it's North Alabama, whereas I think some of these teams are just like really, really dedicated that, if it's a North Alabama or whatever it is, like they're going to go all the way. Now, I went to every game, okay? That's me. But I'm a different breed. You guys hopefully are getting used to that as we go on here. Um, so that's my perspective from a Florida State supporter, right? So I do think too, and I think this is something you guys should know too. One of the main developers, one is a Michigan State fan, and the other is a Florida State fan, right? I think they both went. Like one went to Michigan State, one went to Florida State. So I think it's kind of ironic, and maybe it's a coincidence that they put Florida State at 9 and then and then Florida at 10. I think that's kind of funny. Whereas all the videos that I see, they have Florida usually top 3. Um, Again, my perspective, I've been in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium when they did the whole "and I won't back down. They got the lights and everything. Unfortunately, they were playing FAU. So when they're playing FAU, that's a little bit different when they're on, when they're playing like Florida State or I don't know LSU or Kentucky. Like it's completely different. My take, and this is being honest because I'm an honest guy, was it is a huge stadium. It looks big. It looks like almost like a coliseum in a way. Like just like it's huge. But I didn't think it was like I thought it was loud. Don't get me wrong. And again, this is from literally the one time that I went for FAU. But like it wasn't like, oh, this is like when I hear someone say this is top three, I was like, oh, this isn't top three. And again, like this was early on in the season. Who knows if they're gonna be good? This was literally the game where they benched Emory Jones. I think it was Emory Jones they benched, and that's literally where Anthony Richardson came in and like destroyed FAU. I was there to watch the coming of Anthony Richardson. So they're definitely pumped and they're hyped, but like I wasn't like, oh, this is a top three stadium. If I'm thinking about it now, was it louder than Florida State? It's hard to tell because they're I think they have a bigger stadium by like 20 or 30,000, especially now with Florida State losing more seats, which I mean, it's all about money. We it's always about money. So in the sense of they probably have a more fans in the stadium, and that's why it's probably like quote unquote louder. Um, so that's the only take I can really get from that. And Florida State, I was there when we played Clemson and barely lost, and we played Wake Forest and barely lost. Was it? Yeah, I think those were the two. Yeah, because NC State was away, right? But then I also was there when we were undefeated. So those are my takes, and that's my only takes that I can really take from this. FAU, I mean, they can't even fill like 10% of the stadium or 20% of the stadium. I'm being honest, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm literally like when I'm there, I could literally walk from one side to the other side and get Dippin' Dots and come back, and they did a 2 minute play, and then I don't have to like move around or anything like that. Okay. I'm sorry for the FAU fans. It's true. All right, come out and support, please, guys. We're in Boca. All the rich folks, come on out. Do some donations so you guys can come out. All right, side note, okay? So, should not even be in the top maybe 100 for FAU. Like, it's something crazy like that. Like, we suck, okay? When Lane Kiffin was there, awesome, all right? That was my little tangent on FAU in that sense because I love FAU, but apparently no one else does. So, again, that's the channel you're getting, guys. That's the channel. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but I'm not really sorry, okay? All right, so that's my perspective, okay? Now, looking at this, we got Texas A&M 1, and they're nuts, right? Those fans are nuts. 12th man for a reason. I mean, I don't know if they're number one. From what I hear on the TV, I mean, weren't they the team that like who they played last year? And there was like no one in attendance. I can't remember who it was. Was it New Mexico State? That was Auburn, right? I think it was somebody. They tweeted it out, and it was Texas A&M against somebody. I think it was like right after Jimbo got fired, and like no one was in the stadium. So I'm sorry, I can't give them number one if you're not always there. Alabama too is interesting because I would love to see Alabama not be bad for a year, and then see how many fans actually come out. So 2 is reasonable in the sense of like. From watching them, it's loud, but like, when they're up by 20, do the fans leave? So that's Alabama. LSU. All right. Everyone that I've watched the videos, I watched like 6 videos on this. Everyone says LSU is 1. From the TV perspective, I don't see why they're number 1, but that's from a TV perspective. Okay. So I'm sorry, I don't have thousands of dollars to go to LSU. You know what I mean? And see it for myself. But from what I'm seeing on the TV, it's like top 5. Okay, they're loud, they're crazy. They weren't obviously loud enough in Orlando for the last 2 years. I'm saying. I'm just saying. Okay, so I don't know about tough. And I get it. They didn't. FSU didn't play them at LSU, but beating them 2 in a row. Okay, Ohio State. I don't know, man. 4. I mean, I will say like I remember the Ohio State Michigan games, and I'm like, from a TV perspective, like, okay, Ohio State's pretty loud. But I'm also like, well, Michigan State was also loud too. So, I don't know. And again, I'm sorry that I don't have a more clear, like, I think Ohio State should be 2 and LSU should be 1 and Georgia should be. I don't have that because I don't want to say that because I've never been there. But from a TV perspective, we'll talk about it in a second. Georgia 5. I think that's reasonable. They're pretty loud. They've been good for a while. A lot of fans don't really leave. So I think 5's a decent spot. Okay. Now, to my other point, Penn State at 6 to me is a travesty. I think Penn State should be 1 or 2. From the TV perspective, I mean, Florida State has one of the best traditions. You could argue the best tradition, and I am biased, so we do have top 3 best traditions. That Penn State whiteout is something I will want to go to one day. I would love to go to a Penn State whiteout. I think Penn State should be 2. From the TV perspective, that is insane. When they had Mo Bamba going with freaking I forgot who it was, Peterson or Peterman. I think it was Peterman from Michigan. That was insane, and they recreated it with the orgy guy from Michigan. Now, yes, that's a quarterback's name. Okay, chill. Don't strike me, YouTube. Okay. Anyways, back to it. I think Penn State should be 2. I think that is one that I am very confident on that they kind of screwed up on. The only thing I can think of is, besides their reasoning, that maybe besides the whiteout, them not being able to get past Ohio State and them not being able to get past Michigan, maybe the fans don't show up as much. Maybe that's their process. I don't know. Wisconsin at 7, I don't really watch a lot of Wisconsin just because, in the Big Ten you got Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. There's your top 3 right there. So I watch Wisconsin, right? And, we got Tyler Van Dyke coming in from Miami. So, and they got Luke Fickell. Okay, cool, but like, I don't want to say anything because I don't really know. Oklahoma at 8. I heard a take that basically said that they don't play anyone in the Big 12 besides Texas, and now when they play Texas, it's in like a neutral field, so like they can't do anything. That was a take I heard in one of the videos. That's kind of fair, but like Kansas State's pretty good. Kansas is good. Jalen Daniels, so like. I don't know. I mean, I remember like when they went out in the tunnel with the little was the carriage thingy, and then it all fell over, and the fans were pretty loud for that. So, okay. And then we've already talked about 9 and 10. I'm sure you guys have seen the rest here, but you can pause this if you want or everything. Virginia Tech, I love the Enter Sandman. I think that's insane. Now, if it said the first 10 seconds of a game or going into a game, I think Virginia Tech's top 2 with Penn State, right? Like the Penn State whiteout, Virginia Tech. I think that's top 2 when you're talking about like the beginning of a game, right? Florida State should be probably top 3, top 4 at the beginning of a game with the entrance, right, and the planting of the spear. So, they haven't been good for a while. I think they're up on the come up, but so it is what it is. The only G5 team, Boise State, I heard people talking about that. Some people were saying it should be others. I don't know. Boise State beat Florida State one year, and I've always hated Boise State with the freaking blue field. So, if it's a group of 5, I always thought Boise State was one of the better group of 5 teams. So, let's give it to them. Any other noticeable? Tennessee at 13. From a TV perspective, Tennessee's top 5. That checkerboard that they do, whoo! From a TV perspective, dude, it's like we're going crazy. Like we're at like the Cracker Barrel or something. That's what I feel like anytime Tennessee plays. So 13 to me seems a little too low. Clemson at 12. Clemson always seems loud, but like not too loud. Like I guess maybe top 5 for like when they're running down the hill. And Dabo is just like freaking sprinting for no reason. Like, okay, I heard a lot of people say Oregon should be top 5. I don't get Oregon at top 5. I don't even get Washington at top 5. Again, this is all from a TV perspective. Everyone else I don't really know. I don't want to get into it with that part. So that's the first half of the video of those are my quick reactions, what I thought. I thought the list was pretty bad overall, I'm not going to lie. I love that Florida State's 9. I'm like, hey, I'll take it. Over Florida? Heck yeah, baby. So that's that, okay? Let's get into the next part. So that's the top 25. Looks a little nicer, right? All together, smooth, cool. Okay. You guys can always come back. This is from On3, by the way, right? Okay, so this is their reasoning, right? And this is where the next half of the video goes where, it's a different perspective now. Because what I'm doing is I kind of took some facts or just different things that I've seen and trying to make sense of their logic. So, basically, top 25 toughest places to play. They're factoring historical stats such as home winning percentage, home game attendance, active home winning streaks, team prestige, and more. I didn't really look up team prestige. I don't really know what they mean by that. I kind of do, but like that could mean a lot. And more, obviously, I don't know what the more is. So I focused on the other three basically. So we're gonna go with let's factor in historical stats. The key word is historical. So wide margin, not just the last 3 years or whatever, um, or 4 years or five, whatever. It's just historic, right? Such as home winning percentage. So I think I have home records last 3 years, right? So unfortunately, I don't have like the last 35,000 years or whatever it is, right? But I do have the last 3 years. Again, we got to be careful here. But someone made this graphic up, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm only concerned with around the top 25. They got Michigan at 1 for home field winning percentage, which is crazy, dude. They haven't lost once, and they're not even top 25. Yeah, no, they are. They're at 16. Okay, my bad. So they're at 16. We got Georgia at 2, right, and they're up there. They're top 5. Alabama, Oregon, Utah. A lot of people Utah seems like a good from everything that I've seen. Utah should be like top 5. With don't they have like a huge altitude problem for people coming in too? So I think Utah was definitely snubbed. Like out of all the snub teams, and I'll go to this real quick. I know I'm bouncing around. That's how I go, dude. I just go. So Utah was a snub in my opinion, right? And again, yes, videos also were kind of explaining that. I go, oh, I didn't really think about that. I think they were a snub. I think they got snubbed a little bit for sure. And maybe a little bit of Virginia Tech, but they haven't been good. They haven't been good. And so Tennessee and Utah. I think Tennessee got snubbed first. I think Utah maybe second, and then Virginia Tech third, but Tennessee won for sure. Okay, let's go back. UTSA doesn't matter; they're not in. Oregon State, they didn't get top 25, right? No. Okay. UCF doesn't matter. Penn State 20. Dude, they're 20. So that maybe hurt them a little bit, right? If again, it's not historic, but them at 20, that can definitely hurt why they're at top 6, not like top 3 or something. Coastal Troy doesn't matter. Miami Liberty doesn't matter. UCF, Tennessee, same thing, right? 19. That could also have hurt them. Coastal Carolina, we don't care. Let's go a little bit with the ones that we know are the top 25. So Texas, where are they on here? 19. See, that could be a reason. Texas A&M. Well, see, this is interesting though, because if you look at Texas A&M, they're 31, dude. Right? I mean, Jimbo didn't help that, but yet they're number 1 here. So that's interesting. Some of it adds up, but then some of it doesn't. Florida at 38. Notre Dame, Washington, Missouri. I don't think Missouri's not even up there, right? Yeah, no, they're not. Okay, yeah. So 44. If they got Florida State at 48, right? Because there's the two. I was there for 2 years for my master's. So they lost 2 games. They lost to Clemson and Wake Forest, and then I think that the year before, which thankfully I wasn't there for that one, they lost to Jacksonville State, right? They lost I think it was the Notre Dame game and all that. So they lost 4 games. So that killed us on that one. South Carolina's a big one. So this is something, I'll just scroll down just so if you guys want to, pause it. You can see it. There's FAU at 91, 10-8. Jeez Louise, bro. We were on a roll for a while with Lane Kiffin too, and then it just all went downhill. FIU. Gotta love it. Okay, let's go on to the next thing, all right? So if you guys wanted to pause that, you guys have that graphic, all right? Let's go on to the next one. We're going to move over here. This is from On3. This is the longest active home winning streaks. Now, remember here, they take in active home winning streaks. So I'm looking at this, okay? So Georgia at 25. We got Michigan at 22, Washington at 14, LSU at 10, Florida State at 9, Oregon, Liberty, SMU, Texas, Utah, Ole Miss, right? So I think this helped Florida State move up with the 9-game winning streak, right? But it doesn't really help Oregon, though. So that's interesting, right? Because Oregon on this list, I mean, I don't know if you guys, Oregon's 4. So Oregon's 4 on here, but 8 here, but yet on here, they're 11. So some stuff just doesn't add up to me. How are they 11 based on this graphic, right? If they're 11, this is 8, so literally one less than Florida State, right? But yet they're what? Freaking 34 spots ahead of Florida State, right? Rightfully so, because that's what happened. But yet they're only 2 spots behind. Based on this, and again, this isn't like confirmed or I mean it's confirmed, but it's not like crazy of these stats. And I'm just kind of making not making it up, but I'm just looking at a few things here. Maybe there's outliers and all that crap, but like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Liberty doesn't matter. SMU doesn't matter. Ole Miss is not even on here, right? Yeah, they're not even on here, so that doesn't matter. Michigan see, to me, Michigan got snubbed too a little bit. I don't think they're like top 10, but I think they're probably like 14. I guess they didn't get snubbed as much, but based on their criteria, I think they got snubbed. They're number 1 here in the last 3 years, and they're 22 at longest active home winning streak. Home field, the home records last 3 years, the longest active home winning streaks. It's just yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just so that's that's the home winning percentage. That's the home game. The active home winning streaks. We got that. So the home game attendance, which I think I have here. Yes, I do. This is from D1 Ticker. I mean, I just found this website. This is the top 25. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna pretend this is the top 25. Michigan, number 1. So like, you can't tell me that this is the criteria, but yet Michigan's number 1, number 2, and number 1, 1, 2, and 1. But yet they're 16. So yeah, this is some weird stuff. Penn State at 2. That's what I said. I said Penn State should be top 3. Probably top 2. And they're 2 here. Ohio State, so that probably bumped them up if they're doing it. Alabama, see, that's probably where they got help. Texas A, like, there's nothing that I see that says, oh, Texas A&M should be 1. So Florida State, 78,000. I didn't even know we had this much. Oh, that's right. We had around like 81K or something, right? So now with the new renovations, it's going to be like worse. So look, Florida 89, Florida State at 78. The capacity, though, I wish it said capacity. Oh, wait, here's capacity right here. 98. Oh, 98%. So that doesn't tell us the numbers of capacity, so that doesn't help. But, like I said, Florida has bigger, not better. Whoa. Don't you clip that. Don't you clip that. Bigger, not better capacity. Nice try, guys. Nice try. So, it's bigger capacity, right? But percentage-wise, that's kind of where, yeah, you know what I mean? So, I thought this was cool. I thought this was interesting. I thought it was a different take. Here's the top 25 again. So, look, tomorrow we got Sights and Sounds. By the time you guys are watching this, it's going to be like 10, 11 o'clock by the time I upload it and everything. Again, guys, look, this is what I do. I don't really edit too much. I just go in, I say what I think. I had, some facts that it took me a little bit to get going. I wanted to see everyone else's thoughts. And I speak, bro. I speak. If you need it on 0.75, put it on 0.75. I ain't stopping for nobody. But this is what I do. This is what I love. That's why I made this channel. Because I'm like, you know what? I want to talk about sports. I want to talk about college football. Because what's the word, guys? What's the phrase? I love college football. I say that every video. I love college football. What do I love? Yes, college football. Thank you. Thank you for saying it. And if you didn't say it, you're a Gator. All right. So with that being said, appreciate you guys watching the video. I'm going to leave it on this. Go Noles. Go Owls. Peace.